Cool. Battle 12. This will be a good one. Hopefully. I mean, all of them have been good so far. Besides the 4 that I lost. Which, for the record, one of my losses, like the 4th one, it was a loss to a fissure team, and that was really frustrating since majority of the time I win that. So just being hit with a few fissures and then being too far behind to win was really frustrating. On a team like this, on paper it makes the most sense to keep instant in the back and to bide your time to when you need it to when you need instant most. But I'm dying here. But in practice, leading instant is always relatively strong, especially into a team like this that has 1, 2, 3, 4 physical attackers. Of course, Swampert could be a mixed or special attacker, so have to keep that in mind. But up front, there aren't really many Pokemon on this team that can directly threaten Farigiraf. And while, on the whole, their team is probably slower than me, I have a few Pokemon, namely Farigiraf and Instant, that can take full advantage of Trick Room. And as long as I'm managing the partner and finding the opportunity to click Surging Strikes into Zacian, I should be able to win. I'd say that's a pretty good game plan. I don't know. It's not like a deep game plan where it's like, I'll lead these 2 Pokemon, I'll switch this one, and the goal is to do X, so that I can sweep by, and then you sweep doing it this way. But it's a plan. And leading Instant here instantly neutralizes Zacian's Intrepid Sword, which is massive. Given the circumstances, it's not really going to matter where Zacian targets, since I know what Rillaboom wants. In practice, Zacian should target probably the Farigiraf. Fail. Like, they double Farigiraf, or they protect on... So, actually, no. With Fake Out, you have to note that they're going to want to protect their Zacian. So, normally I'd play a little bit slower and ensure that they're not throwing away... that I'm not throwing away a potential lead. But given the circumstances, I feel pretty safe just protecting my Farigiraf and getting Instant out of here. Oh, I didn't protect, that's right. Yeah. Because I don't need to protect here since it just doesn't do much damage at -1. It could be a problem if their Zacian is... Sorry, if their Pokemon are slow enough. Getting them the drop on Farigiraf is very nice. If it's Throat Spray, it's not going to want to stay on the field for long. I don't necessarily want to give up my item on any Pokemon, but if I send Miraidon in, I can at least bait specific moves. Actually, well, Urshifu does the same thing. My hope is Fake Out. Actually, what I could do here is I could protect... no, they're going to want to close Trick Room, actually. For them, the biggest problem is that I have Trick Room up. Surging Strikes is the lowest value play I can make. It just comes at a massive cost to try and manage this situation like this. I could try to pick up Farigiraf in one turn. If it wants to drop Trick Room, it absolutely will. But given the position, it's not a worthwhile prediction since they actually take really great advantage of the Trick Room. So it makes more sense to try and punish me for setting them up. For setting up their Farigiraf. Hopefully through the form of Psychic. If I can get knockoff Psychic into Instant, then I'd be really good position. Will-O-Wisp, that works perfectly. Oh, it screens Farigiraf. That's interesting. Cool. I'm pretty good with that, actually. Since I no longer really fear their Instant anymore, like, it can Will-O-Wisp Farigiraf for chip, but it's not... It probably isn't worth specifically going for it, since it wastes your turn. And at this point, the knockoff just doesn't do tons of damage. They can terrestrialize their... Well, there's a lot of things they can do. In theory, Parting Shot into Instant will protect Farigiraf, but I don't know if I care enough. Honestly, I think I care mostly about getting Farigiraf on the field. Sorry, getting Farigiraf off the field. so that I can get Zacian as tied up as possible. The moment Zacian's at -1 or 2 is the moment I win. So I'm hoping for a knockoff into my Incineroar where they can actually make a difference. Like, it's a shame to lose my Throat Spray boost, but it's better than taking a knockoff, since I can always figure out how to get around not having +1. I can use Helping Hand, but I can't always get lacking health back. At this point, Hyper Voice is going to do solid damage to the Rillaboom. I'd guess 20, maybe 15%. Yeah, thereabouts. From here, my position's honestly just getting... It is starting to weaken in position. They've figured out that they can just stall Trick Room pretty safely, since I don't have ways of consistently outputting the necessary damage. And I definitely don't want to be switching Pokemon in unnecessarily. Last time I let them do it, I let them get the U-turn off, so I'm going to try to play around that by using Protect. And just play into what they think is the most logical play. I'll put Miraidon on the field and shut their terrain off to prevent too much over-recovery. It could be a shame. It would be a shame if they're using high horsepower, but at the same time, at -1, I'd feel fine enough taking that with Miraidon, since this is the build that's got the extra physical bulk. Like, I've changed my build to have 204 health, 172 defense, so it can really afford to take hits on that physical side really well. Now, it can't take tons of special hits if I take that cost. Cool. From here, I have options. Whether it's a hard switch or otherwise, no Pokemon that they can switch in from this position will ever have positive matchup into Electro Drift. They can keep Rillaboom on the field, and that's a fair play. But it comes at a risk, as does all things. If I can take care of... no, actually that works. I've got it, we're good. Cool, they Psychic, they want maximum damage, this is a good call. But I should be able to take that fine. It's not good, but it's fine. They don't switch Rillaboom, which is unfortunate. It says I really expected them to value the terrain control. Since they're not doing much damage, even on strong moves like Wood Hammer, this doesn't pick up the KO. Oh, it does! Cool. They've only got... The only Pokemon that can realistically bring in here to control the situation is Zacian. I've been biting my Urshifu in the back. Nice, Zacian. Don't want to send Urshifu out now. I want to send Incin out now. And I don't want to let their Zacian get any attacks off into Farigiraf before I'm ready. Given the position, it legitimately might be better if, I was going to say something really smart. Given the position, it actually might be better to let Miraidon go down sooner than later, since I control the terrain, they're not getting tons of recovery, and realistically, it's not going to provide enough value for the team with, like, 80 health left. So it legitimately might make sense to let Miraidon go sooner than later, since it's just really doing nothing for me. Especially since I know Urshifu is the way I'm going to do damage. Okay, that did a little bit more than I'm happy with. And they doubled into Incin, which is, it's a play. Cool, the team's light screen wears off. For me, the play I'm thinking right now is pop a Parting Shot into Zacian and then swap into Miraidon. I do not need Miraidon anymore. It functionally lets me bait attacks and plays into... It lets me bait attacks and plays into Farigiraf. Sorry, I'm struggling here. It lets me reposition, it's the most important part. If it goes down, I can bring Instant straight back to the field. I can bring Miraidon straight back to the field. Oh, sorry, Farigiraf straight back to the field. I mean, in this position, they want to reflect. That's valid. Just like DJ Khaled. Oh, straight bars. But more importantly, they're about to lose their ability to fake out. So, and they're gonna quickly find that they're running out of options. To do I want to send out Urshifu now? Probably not. It's too dangerous. But I think they're going to soon realize that they're starting to run out of opportunities to actually prevent Trick Room going up again and actually get me opportunities to abuse. Since minus like Terra Ground Instant, which I don't see as particularly likely. In theory, 9 times out of 10, I can just click Protect here, Electro Drift into Instant and be in good position. Which is probably why I'm going to do that, actually. It's actually taking a fair bit of health. Yeah, I don't know if I want to risk the Volt Switch, that kind of play. Volt Switch could help me potentially get value, but I just don't know where I'd want to go to, since if Instant gets onto the field at an inconvenient time, then I just lose. Like, if Zacian gets on the field at neutral, and I can't intimidate it, then I instantly have less ways of winning the game. Cool, they're going for the Miraidon, which is fine. That did very little. Electricity disappears, that's not a big deal. I'm honestly more concerned about them getting healing back with Rillaboom, which is already gone. From here, again, we just protect. Straight to Incineroar. Eventually, I'm going to need to set up Trick Room again to win. I know that. I don't have enough damage on the Zacian to actually try and run away with the game using Instant. Like, I've done it before where I've gotten just enough, like, -2, and I could use Instant to patch up the weakness. But given the position, I am running out of opportunities. Like, I certainly don't have the health to survive the parting shocks that it would take to get through Zacian. Is it Terra Ground? Terra Fairy. So they knew that Instant was coming in, and they wanted to try and capitalize on that, which is smart. I don't know if I'm going to take enough damage. Oh, I went for a double protect, didn't I? Oopsie! That was dangerous. Yeah. I took a completely unnecessary risk there. That did 100? A little under 100. I was at 100 and something. Basically, how much does this do? I'm pretty sure I'm still in the range where I can live one more. After failing Protect, I can actually Protect again. To which I'll Parting Shot Zacian. Bang. This is certainly interesting. Okay, so they're -1. There's another +1. At the bare minimum, why are they continuously? What? I could have swore they had Hyper Voice. They might not. I'm gonna make a read at this point. They've been very aggressively ignoring Farigiraf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Urshifu in, I'm going to reveal my trump card, and I'm going to try and get them to bait attack. I'm going to try to bait attacks into my Urshifu, maybe sending it at this position they might think is Scarfed. For any reason whatsoever, I want them attacking, potentially a double up into... Nice. Show me Psychic into the Urshifu. Shadow perfect. From here, their neutralization is still a massive problem. But more than that, the Farigiraf's actually the biggest problem. Reflects War Off, it's not that important. From here, we're going to Hyper Voice and move straight to... Actually, I can just move straight to Instant, yeah. Because if they take Instant out, then Miraidon will hit the field, and then they'll be stuck with spread attacks that they can't handle. This feels good so far, because, honestly, Zacian is one of my worst matchups. It's even at -1, -2, it can do upwards of 30% onto my Incin. Oh, what is it? As well as Miraidon, Pokemon like that. Really can't afford to take many hits from Zacian. Importantly, as long as I can deal with this Farigiraf sooner than later, I win. Cool, play rough, it doesn't really matter who it's into, I'd rather it be Incin. Nice. Critical hit, does not matter. I know I moved before... Zacian, and I know that I can handle at least one more Shadow Ball from the Farigiraf, which I've been very inclined to click. Which, you know, cool. It doesn't take a lot. Given the circumstances, I just need to get rid of Farigiraf here. How many turns of Trick Room do I have? 3. They could double protect here, go on the offense, double protect again, and then they'd win. If I make my intentions clear, they might find a way around it. I'm just not sure what that way is. Hyper Voice, obviously. I can just go for the Zacian. Honestly, I'm gonna call double protect, but I really care more about that. Oh wait, they didn't double protect. How nice. Maybe they have Dazzling Gleam and they've been biting that. Hyper Voice, how much chip? It doesn't really matter. I'm only clicking Hyper Voice just to do a little bit to both. Crit, cool. It really doesn't matter that much, as long as I survive this Psychic. Cool. Game over. I'm really proud of this game, honestly. Normally, I tend to struggle with these kind of games, because getting into Trick Room and making the most out of it is very difficult. Especially against Zacian, who can honestly take a few hits on the way. It's a real lug, and it can actually take those hits. So to get into a position where I can say, hey, I actually dominantly beat one of my worst matchups, that feels pretty good. Let that be a lesson for your kids. Don't give up. Think about your holistic plans. And then develop more consistent, straightforward plans during your game. With that, we've defeated Ice, and we've gone 7-5 in the Grand Challenge. This may be the first time ever I've gone positive on day 1. I did it wrong. W. That's 3 wins in a row for me. So I'm on something today. Quit battling. We're ranked top 400 right now. Sorry, top 500. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah. I'll see you for the next battle. Even in defeat, I lose. Have a nice day.